educate these men. Gladly. So let's talk about parental alienation and the silver bullet technique. The idea that mothers can simply allege abuse by the father to instantly win their custody cases, deny the father all custody with no questions asked. Now, they never provide any data or statistics about their claim, but insist it is a widely abused tactic that is hugely successful. Except there is a ton of data on this, so let's take a look at it. Firstly, for a widely used tactic, it's barely used. Multiple studies show that less than 15% of cases involve allegations of abuse, such as this 2004 study from Maryland, which showed a rate of 13%, or this 2013 study from Nebraska, which found that a parent alleged either domestic violence or child abuse in only 12% of cases. And the reason for this is because parents are actively discouraged from bringing up allegations of abuse because it is a losing strategy, not a winning one. A 2004 survey of protected mothers found that almost 2/3, 65%, were actively discouraged from reporting the abuse. And while over 80% of them had custody before their hearings, only 31% of mothers were still left with custody as a result of their proceedings. And that's despite the fact that 71% of children reported that the abuse continued. And abuse is substantially underreported. A 2005 study looked at 2,300 cases and found that about 11% had substantiated histories of intimate partner violence, police reports, court records, and protective orders. And yet almost half, 48%, made no mention of that prior IPV in their dissolution cases. Almost another third, 29%, mentioned that IPV, but only as unsubstantiated allegations. They did not include the evidence from the prior police reports, court records, or protective orders. In fact, less than a quarter, only 24%, mentioned the prior IPV and included the evidence from police reports, court records, and protective orders, which would not be the case if this was a magical winning silver bullet strategy, rather than a losing one. And this is demonstrated in the outcomes of those cases. Mothers were no more likely to win custody when they alleged or proved intimate partner violence. Not one of the men who went to court with their abuse unsubstantiated and only alleged was denied visitation. Nor were those men any more likely than the comparison group to be denied visitation. Meanwhile, only 17% of the men that the court upheld had been abusive were denied visitation. In other words, 83% of the men that the court believed were indeed abusive still had access to their children. And when Congress looked into this topic, they found empirical evidence shows that a third of parents who were alleged to be abusive actually took custody from the protective parent reporting the abuse. And this has been repeated in multiple studies, such as this study from 2020, which looked at over 4,000 cases where abuse was claimed. Mothers who allege that the father is abusive will lose custody in 1 in 4 cases, 26%. And even if the court agrees that the father is indeed abusive, they still take custody from mothers in 1 in 8 cases, 13%. And in fact, all the father has to do to increase his odds is simply claim that the mother is alienating the children against him. When that happens, courts are 4 times more likely to disbelieve the mother's claims of child abuse. And mothers then lose custody in half of cases. And if the court agrees with the father that the mother is indeed alienating the children against him, then mothers will lose custody in almost 3 out of every 4 cases, 73%. In fact, regardless of whether abuse is alleged or not, fathers can simply claim that mothers are alienating a child against them, and mothers will lose custody in almost half of cases, 44%. There is indeed a silver bullet strategy, but it is that fathers can simply allege that the mother is alienating a child against them, and suddenly the claims of abuse are ignored. And yet it is fathers, not mothers, who are more likely to do the alienating. A 2012 study by the US Department of Justice surveyed custody child evaluators and found that mothers and fathers made false allegations at about the same rates. However, 1/3 of mothers, 36%, alienated a child against their father. But over half of fathers, 51%, alienated a child against their mother. And half of the cases they dealt with were of a domestic violence perpetrator alienating a child against the victim, which was also seen in the comprehensive statewide studies done on gender bias in family courts in both Florida and Minnesota, which concluded that fathers would regularly weaponize their children in order to gain an advantageous settlement. And it is not just that the silver bullet narrative is based on a complete lie and a denial of reality. It is actively putting children in grave danger. When I talked about this last back in February, the same day that I posted my video, this post was made to the men's rights subreddit on behalf of a man going through the popular narrative. A bitter ex was making false allegations of abuse and alienating his children against him, forcing him to court to fight not only a protective order, but also a criminal child abuse case and a termination of parental rights, all 3 cases of which he won, highlighting these were all false allegations meant to smear his character and deny him access to his children. As always though, his court records tell a completely different story. He had violated court orders, There was a history of repeated domestic violence which was not originally included in the case. And in the findings of fact, the court reported that it was not the mother, but it was the county attorney who was bringing these cases against him. That the accusations against him were not wholly false, and that there was no evidence that the mother was alienating the children against him. She was simply reporting what the children were telling her when it came to the abuse. It's the children that are accusing him of abuse. And in the termination of parental rights case that the father won, the judge gave his opinion that he was very skeptical of the father's testimony, and was convinced that the father had indeed sniffed the children's crotches on multiple occasions, and that there was no reason to believe the children were making this up. And the father himself would admit that he had indeed sniffed the children's crotches on multiple occasions. And the eldest was so fearful of abuse and essay at the hands of her father, she attempted to fatally self-harm and was taken to inpatient treatment. And while in that inpatient treatment facility, her father tried to directly contact her, further triggering her self-harm behaviors, and then tried to have her removed from that inpatient facility. And yet, despite the court reporting these findings as facts, the father still claims that these are just false allegations and the mother is alienating the children against him. Much like Jeff Younger, who I've talked about before, whose court records show he openly lied to CPS and abused the children that he lived with, again causing depression and thoughts of fatal self-harm. And yet he continues to also insist that his case is one of false allegations and alienation against him. Repeating this false lie of the silver bullet technique serves only as a protective cover and smokescreen for these vile, abusive men to continue their abusive behavior, fail to take any accountability, and continues to put vulnerable children in harm's way. It needs to stop.